Know that.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Matt back again. Going ahead and continue with our throwback reviews. Season 3, episode 5, entitled "Say the Word." This episode pretty much presumes right where the last one left off, where Rick basically found out, Lori had, died during childbirth and everything, and he's kind of just in a daze, and Daryl's trying to get his attention, wave in front of his face, trying to snap him out of it. And Rick, he takes the it was an axe that he had when they were searching for everybody earlier on the last episode. He takes the axe and sprints into basically into the tombs and stuff where all that had happened, and he just starts slaughtering walkers left and right, just out of a rage. Herschel, checks on the baby, says it's healthy, but she won't survive without food. And of course, Daryl was like, nope, not another one on his watch. So he said he's going on a run to try to find some, formula and stuff. And he takes Maggie with him on his bike. So they're off going on a run trying to find formula for the baby. And Glenn, he starts digging with help from Axel and Oscar. He starts digging graves for T-Dog, Lori, and they're presuming Carol is dead. Maybe they haven't found their body, but they go ahead and dig a grave, just to be ready. So they're digging the graves and everything. And the other part of this episode is They show Woodbury, and the governor is at the beginning. He's brushing you can't tell at the beginning that it's actually a walker. Like, she's brushing somebody's hair, and it's actually it ends up being his daughter that has turned, and he's still keeping her like she's still alive and everything. And it's just weird. He has her in this little side room of his apartment, and he has her in a cage and everything with a bag over her head. I don't know, it's really weird. But he sees Michonne peering up at him from the sidewalk down below after he puts Penny back away and everything, and you can just tell Michonne just doesn't trust anything that that the governor says, or she doesn't. You can tell she just doesn't want to be there. So later on, the governor's out and he's toasting people with Woodbury and whatnot. And while all these festivities are going on, Michonne, she sneaks into the governor's apartment and she gets her katana back. And then later on, she finds a courtyard with walkers all in these cages and stuff. Of course, she opens one of the cages and she just slaughters them all and everything. She's then caught by one of the other Woodbury guys, and so then Governor's in it talking to her, and he's like, I admire your fearlessness, but you don't need to be doing that and everything. And basically just tell her to just mind her own business, so to speak. And she ends up getting the katana back from him real swiftly, and has him. She could have killed him if she wanted to. She had him the blade to his throat and everything, and then she ends up leaving. And then Merle comes in, make sure everything's is all right. And of course, Governor brushes it off yeah, he's got it under control, and he basically just tells Merle to take some of the others to the pits and get more walkers for tonight. So we don't know what's going on tonight in Woodbury. Andrea was trying to ask him what was going on, and he's he's not giving it up, but so she just have to wait and see, basically. And so they go. It shows Merle and Martinez and everybody, and they go and they get some more walkers from some pits that are not in Woodbury, but I'm guessing they're somewhere close. They got these pits that the walkers fall into, and then they carelessly capture them, and then they're pulling their teeth out. And I would say we will have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. But anyways, back at the prison, Glenn, he tries to go try and find Rick and make sure that he's all right. He follows all the walker dead bodies, basically, where Rick has been slaughtering them all, and then he sees Rick just kind of just standing there in a daze, and he's trying to tell him, hey, you need to come back outside, get some fresh air, and everything's gonna be all right. And then Rick basically pushes him up against the wall, slams him up against the wall, and just with this crazy look on his face, and then just walks off without saying a word. So Rick is not all there at this point in time, not at all. Back to Daryl and Maggie on the run. They find this abandoned daycare and everything, and then they do find some formula and whatnot. So once they get back to the prison, they get the formula to Herschel and everything, so they can get it all made up so they can feed the baby. And then they're trying to figure out what they're going to name the baby. And Carl suggests naming the baby, after some of the other deceased females from the group, like Lori and Jackie and all the ones that have passed. And then of course the group laughs, and Daryl suggesting, he says little ass kicker, as a joke and everything. And then Daryl's kind of like feeding the baby. It's kind of a cool moment and everything. Back to Rick, he discovers the boiler room where Lori died. He identifying it by the knife and the burnt fluids on the floor, and then he collapses to his knees. Lori's body is, however, missing, but he follows a blood trail until he discovers a bloated walker that has, I guess, basically consumed the entire corpse. And it's basically Rick just looks just baffled. He then shoots the walker in the mouth before repeatedly stabbing it in its full belly, crying out for Lori as he does it. So, yeah, Rick is losing his damn mind. And then that night at Woodbury, the governor escorts Andrea to the main event. It's a gladiator fight between Merle and Martinez, surrounded by chain walkers. The residents feel risers around the makeshift arena. They're like just going crazy for this. And then Andrea's, of course, like, what the hell is this or whatever? And she calls it barbaric. The governor reassures her that the fight is staged, explains everything is okay. It just helps the residents blow off steam and everything. And but Andrea's not digging it because she knows the real dangers of the walkers. These people are sheltered here. They really don't know the actual dangers and stuff. Oh, yeah, I also forgot to mention before this, during the daytime, Michonne basically says she's leaving. She doesn't want any part of Woodbury. She packs her bags and everything. And then as she's walking towards the gate to leave, Merle stops, or Andrea was with her at the time. Merle stops them and basically confers with the guard, then agrees to let them go. Andrea points to the open gate where debris and garbage lays about as proof of Michonne is being paranoid about Woodbury. Michonne says, "Are you coming or not?" And then she leaves, alone. Andrea, stays. She's unsure about the offer and everything. And like I said, basically, before the fighting part, the governor consoles Andrea and proposes a drink and something to take her mind off losing her friend. She takes his hand and they take a stroll down the street and everything. Basically, the governor's trying to make her forget about Michonne. But anyways, like I said, I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry, I just thought of it. But yeah, the end of the episode, it shows Rick. He's slumped over on the floor in the boiler room, exhausted, numb, don't know what to think. In his dazed mind, and he distantly hears a baby crying, and then suddenly the ringing of a nearby phone. He looks stunned. He picks it up and answers hello, and that's how the episode ends. So yeah, it was a pretty decent episode, just showing Rick, losing his wife and everything, just kind of going nuts, killing everything in his sight, basically walkers and stuff, and he finds that her corpse has been eaten, so they can't even bury the body or nothing. And then going crazy, hearing stuff basically. We don't know at the time that he's hallucinating all this, but obviously he is. The telephone's not going to be ringing. It's a zombie apocalypse, so he's just imagining all this, basically, that he's hearing the phone ring and whatnot. And like I said, the next episode, it goes into even more detail on his hallucinations. But then we see Woodbury, and then the governor's twisted entertainment of the fighting with the walkers on chains surrounding them and everything. Michonne bails out of Woodbury. She's out of there and whatnot. But yeah, it was kind of a good episode. They covered a lot. Daryl and Maggie, getting the formula for the baby and everything. But yeah, basically just the aftermath of Lori's death and everything. And like I said, not too shabby of an episode to follow up the big episode last time of the major deaths and everything. But yeah, like I said, I appreciate you checking out this throwback review as always, guys, and I'll be back soon with the next episode. Y'all be good.
Welcome to Woodbury.